Hello everybody, welcome to another gameplay analysis. This time it's going to be game 1 of LGD versus IG Vitality in the Boston major qualifiers. LGD Gaming will start off with a Bounty Hunter ban, a hero that IG Vitality likes to run a lot. They also like to run the Ricky as well, so I won't be surprised if they ban that out in the second ban. And if they don't ban it, IG Vitality will for sure pick it up in the first phase. IG.V will ban out OD with their first ban, and LGD will ban out Ricky. So they do not want to play against IG.V's Invis heroes that they really prefer, as they're able to get a lot of deep vision in the map as well as provide information throughout the game with their scouting. Batrider will be banned up by IG.V. They're banning pretty much according to the meta, as OD and Batrider are very powerful heroes this patch in the mid lane as well as the off lane. It's not really any team specific ban, but they do ban according to the meta. LGD Gaming pick out Rubik in their first pick. Pretty odd pick, as Rubik really depends on the enemy's hero's spells to be useful, and as a first pick, you really have no idea what IG.V will pick up.
10 seconds to go.
But as a support, he's pretty decent in the laning stage, allowing pretty good control, but you might run into some problems because he does lack damage in the early game. Slaughter as well as Lifestealer will be picked up by IG.V, a very strong combo with the Infest ganks. Once Slaughter gets the blink up, he will be able to put a lot of pressure on the map, as if they go missing, LGD Gaming will have to be careful, as if you get caught out with that, it's very unlikely that you're able to get away. Axe will be picked up by them, a pretty decent hero against Slaughter and Lifestealer, as they're both melee heroes. If they get called up, they're going to run into a bit of problems. The banning will be very fast, as IG.V will ban out Naga Siren as well as Luna very quickly. Naga being a very strong hero against a lineup with a Lifestealer. She's able to just net him up as well as kind of avoid him. He doesn't fare well against her illusions, and overall she's a pretty strong counter against Lifestealer if she can get her farm up in a core position. Luna is not too good against the Slaughter Lifestealer, as he's able to just rage up against her Eclipse, and they're able to pretty much burst her down pretty quickly, but they just don't want to play against Luna. They'll ban her out. LGD Gaming will choose to ban out Silencer and Chen. Silencer, a hero that can go pretty well with the Slaughter Lifestealer combo, able to use the global silence and just stop any type of counter initiation that LGD Gaming might have in hand. The Chen will also be banned out. Overall, a pretty powerful hero this patch. He wasn't as powerful as he was in the previous patches, but with certain teams running him, he can cause a lot of early game aggression, and with that, they're just going to choose to ban him out. Instead, IG.V will pick up an Earth Spirit, another hero that can provide a lot of aggression in the early game if he can land his spells and potentially get a couple of early game kills. He also provides a lot of teamfight presence with all his spells and a decent amount of damage. LGD Gaming will pick up Ursa in their second phase. Pretty strong hero against Lifestealer. Doesn't care about the rage. He can just start wailing on him with massive physical damage. IG.V will be thinking they're going to take their reserve time to decide what their next pick will be. Ideally, they want something to kind of kite the Ursa as well as the Axe. Both heroes are really dependent on getting a jump in and immediately killing someone, but if you're able to just kite away and just cause them to just run around, they should be able to win the team fights, and they will pick a Jakiro, a hero that can just do that. He has a lot of slows, damage over time, stopping axes, and Ursa's blink, and as well as having an ice path that will cause a lot of team fight disruption for them.
10 seconds to go.
And having Macrofire as well to just
5 seconds.
add up onto their team fight damage.
Reserve
Jakiro,
time.
a hero being able to take down towers pretty quickly as well. I really like that pickup by IG.V. So LGD Gaming will be using their reserve time for their next pick. They kind of want more team fight control. They really need to take out the heroes when they initiate. If they don't take out heroes when they initiate, they're going to run into problems. They just let a Lifestealer run around the fight and they don't manage to take out any heroes with their initial initiation. They're going to eventually lose the fight. Lifestealer will be able to heal up, and Slaughter is going to run around and hit multiple crushes, and they're not going to be able to survive for long. They're taking quite a while to decide their next pick. Right now they still need a mid hero and another support. They do pick up a Winter Wyvern, a hero that can save heroes against Lifestealer, as well as the Slaughter's physical damage input, and provide an ultimate as well that can deal with these heroes that like to just jump in and get in your face. It's kind of a hero that stops people from just clumping up and running you down. So decent pickup for them, if not making them a little bit weak in the laning stage, as Winter Wyvern doesn't provide too much. He can provide a decent amount of harass with his Q, but Earth Spirit and Jakiro are by far the stronger heroes in the early game. Rubik as well, lacking damage. Right now LGD Gaming kind of lack a lot of damage in the laning stage, but they do have an Ursa, so if Rubik and Ursa go to lane together, Rubik provides a decent amount of control for Ursa to just do a lot of damage to the enemy team, so you still have to be watch out for that. Slaughter is not going to have too good in lane if he's going to go off lane against those two heroes. IG.V ban out Alchemist as their last ban, and LGD will ban out Murano and immediately pick up a Razor. Pretty strong hero against Lifestealer, able to zap up his damage and just prevent him from doing any physical damage output. IG.V will decide on their last pick. I think they still need a mid hero here, so they want something that will go up against the Razor that can do pretty well in the lane, because Razor does dominate a lot of heroes in the mid lane.
Reserve time.
So let's see what they pick up here. It's I really have no suggestions right now. They just kind of want something that maybe pushes down towers, as well as provide them a little bit more team fight. So they're going to take their reserve time to think of that. I mean, they can go Invoker or something like that, but instead they'll pick up a Tinker, a hero that actually is very, very powerful against Ursa, as he's able to just blind him, as well as put down that March, stopping Axe and Ursa from blinking around. And he does decently against the Razor in the mid lane as well. So very good pickup by IG.V, their last pick Tinker.
What's with all the scribbling?
Hero that pretty much can take control of the map once he gets Boots of Travel done, and even contribute to some ganks, as when Slaughter gets Blink and starts wanting to rotate around the map for kills. They will take a bit to pick up their heroes, but now they will get into the game. Doesn't look like there will be any early game pause. We'll get right into it. Earth Spirit will pick up some smokes and use it, and they will TP to lanes to place wards. Winter Raven will go mid, but he will be spotted out here if he decides to walk up right away. Earth Spirit will roll up and they will spot each other. Doesn't look like any wards will be placed here because you don't really want to place wards in enemy vision. Rubik will TP to the bot lane. He'll get his ward down. He'll just put the center lane ward here. We'll spot out Slaughter, who should be the one going off lane. I'm not sure if IG.V will decide to go for an aggressive lane in this game. It's pretty hard to do against Ursa, as well as Winter Raven and Rubik. Just pretty decent laners, especially with a lifestealer. IG.V will group themselves up in the bot lane. They're going to be in their ancients areas. It might be looking like they want to contest the rune. And in a level 1 fight, I think they have the advantage with the Jakiro, as well as the Earth Spirit and the Slaughter, providing a decent amount of control as well as damage. Lifestealer will make his way down to the bot lane. He does pick up a mango. It's pretty standard for a Lifestealer to pick up some type of mana regen item, as he kind of needs his mana to play aggressive in the lane. It's kind of like a Sven. So Tinker will secure the rune top. It looks like LGD caught wind of IG.V's heroes at the top lane and they don't really want to contest. The bot rune actually will be open for grabs if anyone comes down there. Looks like Axe will just start in the jungle. He does pick up Iron Talon. Tinker will be quite annoyed by the static link damage deal, but he should do just fine in this lane, especially with support from Earth Spirit. They will manage to de-ward the enemy ward in the mid lane with this sentry here. And Tinker should be able to do just fine in this lane. If not, he's slightly advantaged here as he has the help from Earth Spirit. Lifesteal will just be left to farm alone in the bot lane. And it looks like Slaughter will go down in the top lane. As I said, this lane does have a decent amount of damage output because we have Ursa as a hero. He does actually pick up Earth Shock instead of Fury Swipes level 1, allowing them to have more control. And he will just get right-clicked down by the 3 heroes on the side of LGD.
And we're back.
Earth Spirit will be trying to annoy the Axe a bit in the jungle as he rotates into here after helping the mid lane a bit, but right now he's looking to make his way up to the top lane to help out, while Lifesteal is just free farming bots. As Axe will try to get his farm up in the jungle, but I wouldn't be surprised if he makes his way down bot very soon, as it's pretty much a free lane right now because Lifestealer is just alone. The support's being rotated to the top lane to just help out the Slaughter get some levels in the early game. Earth Spirit is still trying to annoy this Axe in the jungle, and he will use a roll to the rune. He actually doesn't make it to the other side, so he will scout it out, but he won't actually pick it up. Tinker is doing pretty well mid. Razor is beating him by a couple CS, which is quite expected. Because in an early stage, Razor is probably a bit stronger than Tinker, but once Tinker gets a couple levels up, he should be able to do fine just in this lane, even catching up in the jungle if he needs to, because he does go for the March build. Earth Spirit will manage to pick up the rune top eventually, and Axe will slowly rotate his way bot. He doesn't actually head his way there quite yet. He still wants to farm up this big camp here. The top lane has slowed down a bit. There's really been no aggression by either team so far. They've just been trying to get as much level as they can, but as I just say that, they're gonna make a play. Jakiro tried to play aggressive on enemy supports, and he does manage to get away. Actually, he will fall. He does get he gets slowed down by too many heroes, and he doesn't have boots. And that was almost a good play by him. It looked good for them for a second, but then they're able to turn around and get a kill on Jakiro. And Rubik picking up Windlace as well as Boots. He's very fast right now. He's able to just run in and get the lift up, which is very scary against an Ursa who's able to deal a ton of damage. And that's any type of lane where you want to run an Ursa. If you pick a support that has disable, you don't really care if he has damage or not. If you pick a support that has a decent amount of disable, able to get in there and just stun them up, slow them up, or anything like that, Ursa's just able to dish out that damage and chase them down. And as I say that, Rubik will lift up the Slaughter and just lift him up and push him back. Ursa will be able to deal a bit of damage to him, but he does get crushed up, and Slaughter is able to barely survive with that salve, as well as having that Poorman shield to help block some damage. Axe is still not deciding to go to the bot lane at all. He's still just sitting in the jungle. He just wants to farm up because right now Lifestealer does have a huge advantage against him as he's just started in the jungle. He's just actually jungling pretty slow right now as Lifestealer is going to hit level 6 and have phase boots. And most of that was in part to the Earth Spirit kind of annoying him a bit. Tinker picks himself up an Arcane Rune, which is pretty good for him. He just lasers up that catapult to get the last hit. Wyvern will walk his way to the mid to put a ward at the 4-minute mark. It's pretty standard for one support to go to the mid lane. Just place a ward once nighttime hits, so you can see any ganks that the enemy team will set up if they don't smoke. Slaughter is just trying to pull the creeps to the side here. Very good to do this anytime you're on the off lane and you can get this camp pulled. It really denies experience for the enemy team, and very, very valuable to do this. Just managed to deny the whole wave, which is pretty big. Ursa will spot it out now, and he will go to try to clear out the creeps. Ursa actually found a stack in the enemy jungle here. It's well played by him. I'm not sure if we got all the way here, but he does spot it out and farm it up. I guess they expected this, as Tinker is a hero that you usually stack for, and he's able to farm it up with his call. So Razor is able to do very well in this game. He actually has not received any help at all, as Earth Spirit was mid to try to help out Tinker, but this matchup is pretty much slightly favored in his favor, if not decently favored in his favor, because Tinker does not have that much range, and with that I think he's able to take up his damage and just out CS him. And with Tinker's stack being stolen as well in the jungle, it's going to be set back quite far. But his Lifestealer will have a great time in the bot lane, just completely free farming the entire time. And of course he's going to stack up this camp and pull it to the side. He's not just going to static farm, he's going to maximize his farm in the lane, of course. So right now this game is pretty slow right now. There's been some fights in the top lane, but that's all so far. I mean, the Tinker has played pretty aggressively on the Tinker, which causes him to be quite behind right now, as he's only has 23 CS at the 7-minute mark. This Razor is having a very good game, and let's see what he builds into. He makes a smoke play with the Rubik. At the 7-minute mark, they're going to look to make a play into the safe lane. Ursa does TP bot as well as Axe, who seems to, I think he walked there. Earth Spirit gets caught, but he's able to stun both heroes and just roll away. Very well played by him. So now they have 4 heroes in the bot lane, as Winter Raven is just getting some levels top. But I'm not sure if they actually want to pressure this completely. Earth Spirit does get caught out. He gets lifted into call, but he just kicks the axe away and rolls away as soon as the call ends, while Tinker is just farming up their jungle. And that play looked to be a bit of a wash, as Earth Spirit's able to just spot out that gank and just get himself away to safety, twice even. They do manage to put a ward into the enemy jungle while that happens. Or actually, this is their ward. They put a ward here on Dire side.
You know the drill. Them dire buildings are tough as
Razor just kind of gives up on that and walks his way back mid, but now that 8-minute rune spawns, he does pick it up and head bot again. Ursa does pick up a Windlace as well as a Morbid Mass, so he's able to chase down heroes as well as potentially go for a Roche if they get any good fight on their side. Axe will rotate to the top lane. It looks like Jakiro as well as Slaughter are pushing in the lane. They're able to take the tower down quite low. So he does TP to the top lane to defend up a bit. Bot lane, they do make a play on the Lifestealer, but having no disable that can go through his rage, he'll just TP. Tinker will continue to farm up to try to catch himself back up as he's not had the best time in the mid lane. Earth Spirit and Lifestealer will just be pushing out the mid lane. It looks like Lifestealer actually TP to mid instead of back to base. Just gotta be efficient with his TP. Wasn't actually that low at all, so he just TPs away, but doesn't have to TP to base, so he just TPs to mid to push it out and pressure LGD so that they had to have this Ursa rotate to defend. Looks like Razor was scouting something in the Roche pits. There was like Tinkers or something there. I don't know why he was actually walking there. Ursa will farm out the mid lane, and the top tower will just continue to get slowly pressured by Jakiro and Slaughter, but with Axe here it's a lot harder for them as he's able to just clear out their crit wave. I think we had a bit of lag there, but it stopped. Slaughter or Lifestealer will head back to the bot lane to farm up his armlet, and he actually has it. It's just in base on the courier. Just needs to wait for the courier to get to him. Razor buys Boots of Travel as his first item. That signifies that he just wants to push out side lanes and still make his way to fights. And this is pretty standard build for Razor. You go for like usually Boots of Travel into the Dragonlance, so you get some stats up and you get super tanky with Sanjin Yasha after that, or maybe a BKB or something like that if you really need it. And it's really fast, really tanky, stats oriented, and he can just run through fights at very fast movement speed and just deal a ton of damage, as well as steal damage from the enemy hero. And with a hero like Lifestealer, he doesn't really have a way to get out of the static link. If he gets caught, it could be quite problematic for him. But Ursa does get caught out in the bot lane here with an infest play from Slaughter and Lifestealer, and he does manage to fall extremely quickly. And he does pick up a Mask of Madness for himself, but that item is not going to help him survive if he ever gets caught out. And he needs to play very careful in this game, because if he does get caught out this game, he's a decent amount of damage for his enemy team, or for his team. And if he gets caught up by an enemy team, he will just lose team fights. Axe will go into a Vanguard. He won't rush a blink or anything. They just want to continue to farm up on their heroes and hit a decent timing, but they have to be careful as they allowed a lot of time for Sakata to catch up on his Tinker. And even though he had a pretty bad laning stage, he's able to almost catch up completely to the Razor right now by farming the jungle camps, as well as his team giving a bunch of space for him. So it looks like Ursa and Rubik will manage to find a kill in the bot lane here on the Earth Spirit. He tries to roll himself away, but they do chase him down with the Mask of Madness on Ursa. Right now, IG.V have to kind of watch out because they don't want to lose any they don't want to lose any type of engagement that will allow LGD to walk right into the Roche pit and just kill it up with the Ursa. Slaughter is pressuring quite far in the top lane, but they know that the Ursa just made a play in the bot, so he is quite safe here at the moment. He's still trying to farm up his blink, and he is almost there with 1500 gold. The Jakiro will start pressuring the mid lane. He does have this maxed out liquid fire build, and he will continue to just siege down the mid tower with the rest of his team. Slaughter will rotate back into the mid lane. Winter Wyvern did look like he went for the deny, but he did not quite get it. They tried to get him, but he was managed to pop his Arctic Burn and fly over the cliff. Meanwhile, Ursa takes out the Roche, but it does manage to get stolen by Paparazzi. he gets the last hit as well as the kill on Ursa and the Aegis, which is huge by them. They managed to just walk in there and just take it pretty much, as Ursa was unable to finish off. So very, very well played by IG Paparazzi. So Lifestealer infests the Earth Spirit and they make a rotation onto the mid lane, and they manage to take out 3 heroes. They do roll up onto the enemy team with the Earth Spirit, and they just able to stun them down and take out heroes one by one. And now they'll lose 3 heroes as well as the Ursa, and they're gonna pressure this mid tier 2. Slaughter is extremely close to his blink now, and if they do get this tower, he'll complete it. So LGD looks like they're in a very bad position right now, as their saving grace Roshan has been taken from them with the Aegis on Lifestealer as well as a blink on Slaughter. IG.V is just going to be able to take over the map and just choke out LGD. They don't have the best farming heroes as well. Ursa is not a hero that you really want to farm on. And even though Razor can get his farm up, he is forced to build into a hood, it looks like, to deal up with the magic damage on the side of IG.V, with the March as well as Jakiro and Earth Spirit. But just keep in mind, they do have a mix of physical damage as well, so it's overall problematic for him, as he's just buying the hood to tank up for 3 of their heroes. He's just going to be able to get shut down by Lifestealer and Slaughter if he ever gets caught, because he's only sitting on 1000 health right now and 5 armor. He's not too tanky. Tinker will pick up a blink now, and this game is looking to be very grim for LGD, as in the next 5 minutes they have a huge problem with this Lifestealer with Aegis as well as a Desolator pickup. Ursa's still nowhere near his blink yet. He is actually pretty close. He has 1700 gold, but I'm not even sure if he wants to go into that now, because right now if he just blinks in, he's not going to be able to survive. Tinker's just going to march up and he's going to hit by Jakiro's spells and killed up by a Lifestealer. Razor does finish up his Hood of Defiance. Right now LGD is just trying to save themselves in this game right now, as that big play by IG Paparazzi is able to take out the Aegis as well as Ursa in the Roshan pit and the Roshan kill, and that huge play just put them way ahead in this game. Tinker does get ulted up by Winter Raven, but he won't really care, as Jakiro is not really gonna right click you down and kill you. The Rubik gets caught out by Earth Spirit and he falls. And Axe, not even being close to his blink yet, is gonna have a hard time initiating and defending, and it might look like this game is just over for LGD, as IG is taking down the racks. They're clearly unable to fight into this March right now, and this Jakiro with the mech is able to just slowly siege down towers with a Lifestealer. Ursa will finally pick up his blink now, but he's still not very able to teamfight. If he just blinks in and the other heroes are able to cast their spells, either Tinker, Earth Spirit, Jakiro, any hero, to be honest, if he just blinks on any hero, the other heroes are completely capable of saving them, as long as they're together. So IG.V make a smoke play, and they're sitting right now on the dire side of the map, next to the Ancients. They're looking for any hero to just peek themselves up too far, and they'll get a crush on the Axe, but he's still pretty tanky as he builds into the Vanguard. They'll commit Macrofire to try to kill him, and Lifestealer will get caught out, and Razor is dealing a ton of damage from him. Lifestealer will go down, but he does have that Aegis that he stole from Ursa. Jakiro will fall to the Ursa in the backline. Looks like Lifestealer managed to get himself out of there, but Slaughter won't be so lucky. Lifestealer actually looks like he is in trouble, as he managed to infest a creep, but that good stun from Earth Spirit will get him out there as he rages and walks away. So that was a very good fight from LGD, as they're able to steal a ton of damage from Lifestealer, and even though he does manage to survive with the Aegis, the rest of his team gets taken out. And that was all down to them making a pretty aggressive initiation on the Axe, who's pretty tanky, and they didn't manage to really take him down at all. And then the Razor comes in with the chase and takes out the Lifestealer with the static link and the stolen damage, and he does manage to ball it up a DD, and that Hood of Defiance did help him a lot to tank up the damage from Jakiro as well as Tinker.
Do something about that bottom.
Ursa will be going directly into a BKB. LGD managed to get themselves a little bit back into this game, but if we look at the net worth, it's not too well for them, as they did lose their top racks. IG.V do group up to take out the bot lane tier 1, and they continue to push. It looks like they're going to go for the tier 2 as well. Lifestealer looks like he is building into an AC, and Slaughter is just going to build into a 4-staff, while Jakiro looks like he's going to build into Yules. LGD smoke up to look for a play, and IG.V infest up the Slaughter as well, so they're looking to make a play themselves. They smoke up themselves as well. They do spot enemies in this ward right here, so they probably know where they are relatively. They are smoked up right now, so they don't actually see them, but they can guess. They're gonna guess to the left, but there's actually no heroes right there, so it doesn't look like any smoke will be successful. They won't actually run into each other. But if a hero wants to just push out this top wave here, they might run into problems. This Rubik is getting pretty close to danger, but he won't commit. This Razor is up here as well, but he's a little bit too tanky, and he's a bit too far in for them to safely initiate on. Tinker will just be pushing out the bot lane. He does build himself a Dagon, as well as buying a point booster, probably for either a Bloodstone or Aghanim's, whichever one he wants. I say Aghanim's a little bit better right now, as they're pretty far ahead in the game, and he doesn't really need the Bloodstone to just give him extra mana or anything. The Aghanim's would be pretty huge for them, because he will just cast more rockets and just laser everyone in the team fight. IG.V are just a couple of team fights away from winning the game, so it's still up to him. I mean, Bloodstone wouldn't be too bad either, allows him to spam a lot more, stay in the team fight for a little bit longer, but LGD is just completely shut out of the game right now. They're just sitting in this area of the map right now. It's kind of wondering what they should do, as they're really unable to catch out anyone on IG.V. They do have Blink finally on the Axe, but IG.V are just playing relatively safe and not getting themselves caught out in this bad position here. They're not even going to walk up here, because they know that if they walk up here they might run into problems where LGD is set up with wards and heroes to take them out. And with that smoke play, notice that they walked over here. They didn't make the risky walk up into this high ground, because this high ground is pretty well fortified for the Dire team if they're all ready and sitting in position to take a fight. And there's a lot of choke points that you can get yourself into, and if they hit a good call as well as Winter Raven ult, they might be able to take a team fight, and they won't even walk themselves here. Instead, they'll walk themselves into Roshan to try to take it out with the Slaughter, as well as a DD rune on the Lifestealer. So pretty lucky pickup by them. They're able to take out the Roshan incredibly fast, and Lifestealer should be able to finish up his AC as well. If you look at the courier, he's gonna have it relatively soon. I think he needs about 400 more gold. Yeah. So with that Roshan pickup, they're going to get the Aegis on the Lifestealer and push down the bot lane. So with Tinker just marching and the Lifestealer able to hit the tower, as well as the Jakiro providing that liquid fire damage, they should be able to take out the towers relatively quickly and safely as well. It's very hard for LGD to make any type of initiation on them with the march constantly going. They're just going to walk themselves into the march and take a horrible team fight if they're not careful. Ursa tries to catch out the Tinker in the mid lane, but Tinker manages to blink himself away just fine. He is going into the Aghanims build. Lifestealer gets initiated on, and Razor managed to steal a little bit of his damage, but he managed to get himself out with the Force Staff. It was actually Slaughter with the Force Staff that saved him. And they initiate back in with the Earth Spirit, and they manage to take out the Axe quite easily. Earth Spirit does get quite low, but he actually does fall to Ursa in the back. But they do chase up and take out the Winter Wyvern. And Ursa looks like he's in trouble right now. He needs to get himself away. He just popped Mask of Madness, which makes him quite fast, and he manages to get himself out barely. Got pretty close there. It looks like Slaughter didn't quite have his blink up yet, and he wasn't managed to catch him. Right now, IG.V is pushing into the mid lane, and this tower is very close to falling. They use Fort, but that's not going to save it for very long. Tinker does have his Aghanims very soon, and once he gets that up, it's going to be very, very hard for LGD to win teamfight with the Aegis on Lifestealer and Aghanims on Tinker. He does finish his Assault Cures now, which will boost their pushing power. So the one way that they won the last team fight, where they were able to steal a ton of damage from the Lifestealer with him having no way to get out, is kind of nullified by the Force Staff pickup on Slaughter. He's able to just force the Lifestealer out and prevent him from getting all his damage stolen. Interesting note, if Winter Wyvern gets his ult off, Razor can spend that time to just steal damage. Usually, of course, you can't do damage to the enemy heroes anymore with his ult, there's a little change on that. But with a hero like Razor, you can steal a ton of damage during that duration, and it's a pretty good combination. Tinker will finally pick up his Aghanims right now, and this is probably when they want to make their high ground push. He's very strong right now, and they're going to have a huge problem trying to defend this. The Shiro will finish up his Jules as well, and Slaughter will make an initiation on 2, and that Aghanims on Tinker will just crush them. And right now, Lifestealer is actually getting his damage stolen. He is raged up, and the Slaughter has already backed out, so he wasn't able to Force Staff him out there. He does get his damage stolen, but I don't think that will quite matter, as he's able to just sit back and wait it out. They did lose their Rubik and almost their Wyvern as well to that initiation from Slaughter and Tinker. Now Tinker will continue to farm out Marsh while they just start hitting the racks, but instead they'll actually go aggressively on them, and with a crush play by Slaughter, they will take them all out. Yep, Ursa will fall, Razor will fall, and they will call GG. So pretty easy for them with the Aegis still on Lifestealer. They're just able to just blink in aggressively with Slaughter, crush them up, and with the Aghanims on Tinker, that's a huge power spike for him. He's able to just zap down heroes with his lasers. So well played by IG Vitality. If we look at the match, we'll see that Tinker was just owning. He had a hard time in the early lane, where he kind of got shut down a little bit by Razor, who was able to just deny up a bunch of creeps as well as take away his damage. But because he was able to catch up in the jungle with space made up by his team, they were able to find the farm on him and get an easy victory in this game, as he just had a pretty easy game for throughout the mid game, as he was just farm up freely as he wanted. They didn't really pressure him too much. He didn't really get in the risk of dying at all, and with that they're able to just secure a quick victory in 26 minutes. And most of that, the really turning point of the game is when they kind of took a push mid, and while during that, they kind of just wanted to stall for Ursa to Roche, but instead they'll get the mid tower as well as walk right into the Roche pit and steal the Aegis as well as Ursa's life. and the Roshan kill, which was huge for them. And with that Aegis, they were able to just play aggressively onto LGD and pick up a couple of kills as well as towers. And they were able to take the first set of racks because of that Aegis. And just huge play by Paparazzi for stealing that Aegis as well as the Roshan kill. So a little bit of a mistake from LGD Gaming, expecting that it can get the Roche for free, and you really can't expect things like that, where the Lifestealer just walked in there, raged up, and stole the kill. And they really expected to get that Aegis, and instead they just threw the game at that time. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. Interesting watching these teams play from a Chinese perspective, I guess. I did a lot of NA cast, but Chinese teams play a lot differently, a lot more methodical. I mean, there was that huge play at the Roche Pit, so there's still huge individual plays to be made in this type of games. But overall, it's a lot more team-oriented. They play a lot together, and there's a lot more five-manning, as well as just sometimes you just see them just sitting together at the tower and just playing kind of safe. There's no really like YOLO, alright, I'm the hero, I'm gonna go run down a lane and try to farm and get back into this game. They really just play together, and they don't try to just be the hero and rely on their individual skills to win the game. It's just overall how Chinese teams play, and hope you guys enjoyed watching this. I'll probably do more Chinese teams. They're a lot more interesting, a lot easier to analyze, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.